Parts of the southwest, parts of Wales, a risk of showers though, and fairly similar across Northern Ireland, a bit of a brighter start, but still plenty of outbreaks of rain across northern parts of England. And for Scotland, a mix of clouds, some showers, but also some brighter spells and still fairly breezy at times too. Now this area of rain should clear quite quickly, moving its way into the North Sea, and behind it, once again, a day of sunshine and showers, but potentially quite a dry and bright day across some central and southern parts, mostly skipping those showers, and it should feel a little warmer than it was today in any sunnier spells, but still once again, particularly across the north, a little fresher and still plenty of showers moving through from the west. Heading into the weekend, an unsettled start, some quite heavy and blustery outbreaks of rain at times, and this could potentially turn into some thundery downpour, so do keep an eye on our Met Office website for any potential warning updates here. But Sunday looks a lot drier than Saturday, so it's definitely the better day of the weekend, and heading into next week, temperatures are on the up. That's it from me. Bye-bye.
Even though we'll see a cloudy start, it'll be a bright outlook for the rest of the day. Boxed Solar, sponsors of weather on GB News.
It's the final week to see how you could be our biggest winner yet, touring in this stylish Elnag Baron 560 motorhome. This brand new 2025 model comes complete with kitchen and bathroom areas and enough space to comfortably sleep a family of 4. We'll also give you a further £5,000 in tax-free cash to add a few of your favourite things. Don't miss out as lines close on the 6th of June. For another chance to win the lot, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB13 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 6th of June. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, this chap made a good start. No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. That's State of the Nation every Monday and Tuesday at 8 o'clock, only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it? Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Dubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hello, it's 11 o'clock, which means it's time for tomorrow's newspapers tonight. Join us over the next hour to find out why Nigel Farage is having a problem with the burqa. The NHS has finally solved the issue of where trans people should go to the toilet, and how many glasses of wine should women drink per year? Good luck with that. I'm Stephen Allen, and tonight I'm joined by Josh Howie and Cressida Wetton to take you through Friday's top stories. This is Headliners. I'm available for voiceover work. Hello and welcome to Headliners, where we give you the best of tomorrow's newspapers with the best of tomorrow's job seekers. And Josh and Cressida, all going well?
There's so much news!
Went for it.
There's too much news, Steve!
I went for it when no one noticed.
They
It's quite a news-heavy day.
We've got to take it all in.
We've got to talk about it for an hour.
Oh, my God, but we need 5 hours to get into this.
Maybe we could use some of the repeats. Cover it that way. Yeah, so you're panicking. Cressida, how are you feeling?
About the news, or... Yeah, I'm fine.
She's so chill since she got a boyfriend. Oh, you're allowed to say that?
Gosh.
Sorry.
Dad, stop embarrassing me.
Does the audience know you have a boyfriend?
Well, they do now.
Oh, sorry.
Crumbs.
Have you practised your signature with a different surname? Is it at that level?
I hate you both.
Cressida Dixon.
The amount...
Funniest thing we've seen on the show.
You know what? I had someone just come up to me before the show, a man called Paul. Hello, Paul, who I
don't like where this is going.
No, he wasn't saying anything about you. No, he said to me, he said, you're so different from when I see you on TV. But I was like, what? How?
No,
but you
you're
hadn't even
exactly
seen me for a
the
second.
same. Maybe sometimes baggy trousers and a backwards baseball cap. That's the only difference.
No, there's no... I was surprised. Do you think I'm different? I mean, I think I'm...
Well, let's move on.
OK, wow. Okay.
I love the fact that he said, you seem so different, and by the sounds of it, said it in a good way. Like, you seem different. I'd probably not take that as a compliment.
This is me trying to be my nicest.
All right, fair enough.
So that is terrifying.
Try and be your nicest with the Daily Mail. What have they got for us?
Well, you know, let's get the boring stuff out of the way. World War III, blah, blah, blah. Russian blames the UK for the drone attack where loads of its bombers were blown up. But let's forget all that. Let's get to the good stuff. Mummy and Daddy are fighting.
Before we do forget all that, could I just say, though, that they say, like, this could lead to World War III. Isn't that what they've been saying about every single step of this war all along? You've used that threat,
We
right?
have heard that a lot, yeah.
Well, yeah.
The boy who cried war at this point.
But let's go to the real World War III. No, I don't know why I stressed the 3 part of it. It's the... maybe, what should we call it? It's the day... It's like the Red Wedding or the Night of Knives. It's just across the political spectrum. They're all at it. We've got reforms coming up, but let's do with these bad boys.
Across the political spectrum.
OK, you're right. On one side of the political spectrum. Well, on the other side, I don't know, maybe Jeremy Corbyn burnt the lasagna that Diane Abbott's eating, visiting the House. Maybe that's...
possible.
Yeah. But this one is, yes, Musk and Trump.
Yeah.
And they're really... the knives are out. And then the knives aren't just out, they're just stabbing.
Honestly, I have to keep checking Twitter for more. The latest is that Musk has shared, retweeted a video of Trump with Epstein, of course, in the 90s.
Yeah.
Not on an island, just in a party.
Yeah, and Trump has just tweeted about Elon Musk that he stinks like fish.
So it's getting pretty serious.
Yeah, it's getting...
So one wants to impeach the other. There's talk of getting Musk taken out of the country. It's gone wild.
Wait a minute. Elon Musk has just said that Trump was the man behind JFK. Shooting. It's all kicking off.
Okay.
And it's all happening. But yeah, they're really... The thing about the Epstein files...
Epstein?
Yeah. No, I know, but...
He's not going to sue.
Joke about is... he was friends with everybody, and this idea that...
You might have been on the island, mate. Don't say friends with everybody.
No, but what I mean is that people have said, well, why didn't Hillary Clinton, why weren't those files released earlier?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, maybe because they're also in the files. So I think it's sort of, the point is, the powers that be don't necessarily want this affiliation.
Everyone was on the island, no one was on the island.
Exactly, it's like Lost.
I bet they wish it was like Lost. Imagine waking up, there was a polar bear there.
It was all a dream.
Yeah, and the polar bear was above age.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so that's the angle everyone's going on here, but this is more apparently that their upset is about the amount of spending, and this is why Elon... So he's got kind of a good point.
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? A businessman and a politician. You can imagine which one is going to be more interested in money.
Yeah,
but
he's right in that the country, America, needs to sort out their deficit.
Yeah.
And this bill, the whole point of Elon Musk was to go in, like, what he saw as his purpose was get in there, save these billions that were being spent on, clownfish, changing sex or whatever it was. But then Trump is sort of, I guess, spending all of that money on tax cuts for rich people and whatnot, as opposed to doing the things that they need to be doing.
But hasn't Elon worked out he is a rich person? Those tax cuts must be great for him.
He's not about money.
Is he not?
No, not about money.
Oh, really?
No, I think he
about
means
lots
it.
of kids?
I think he's got a vision and he wants to fulfil it.
Yeah, he wants to go to Mars and he doesn't want big tax.
Fair enough. To the Daily Telegraph, front page of that, what have they got going on?
They've got the reform civil war over burqa ban. So, obviously, Zia Youssef, just a few hours ago, really, resigned from reform. He's not going to be the chairman anymore. And some of the press are kind of making a big thing, implying that this is because of the burqa question yesterday. It's not necessarily that, is it? Nigel Farage was interviewed earlier trying to imply that this has been building up for a while, that it's actually a lot of hard work and not very rewarding being in politics. I don't know. Josh doesn't believe that.
No, I'm sure there is other stuff going on behind the scenes. Supposedly he went in there and he sort of tried to make it all professional, and I imagine that put a lot of backs up.
Yeah.
From my own experiences.
But he's a really successful guy. I can't imagine.
Yeah, but he had a belief that he wanted to make the country better. I guess.
And he's saying it's not a good use of his time is really valuable.
No, but I wonder how much the burqa is part of it, because, you know, Nigel Farage has sort of seemingly gone out of his way to not get embroiled too much within any there's the rhetoric about Islam,
right?
Seemingly. And I wonder if Nigel Farage has sort of come in and said, no, it's got nothing to do with the burqa, this is about other stuff. But the timing would suggest that it does have something to do with the burqa.
Yeah. And it feels like he's now going to have to answer this one, isn't he? You've got at least 2 of his MPs saying you should ban it.
Yeah, that's
and
like
2 is 40%. Yeah.
I'm good at maths.
Look at you up there with the numbers.
Yeah. But it seemed like he was good at his job. Like, under him, the proof is in the pudding, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, and politicians never claim credit for something that just happened when they were there.
Oh, no, you're right. But, yeah, I guess this doesn't help the Reform Party in terms of their trying to achieve some level of professionalism, and are they the people who are going to be running the country when you have these kind of... There's only a few people at the front of it, and they keep on sort of falling out every 2 seconds. I wish I could relate.
Because they would say they haven't fallen out. There's lots of thank you for your help, you've been wonderful, everything's on good terms.
Yes. Yeah. It's all sort of kicking. I mean, I wonder how much more is going to come out. A lot of people online are sort of seem to be saying to Nigel Farage, you should let back in
Mr. Lowe.
Mr. Lowe.
And you know that Nigel said he would rather eat razor blades.
Yeah, but that's...
So there's a chance.
Maybe he likes...
So he didn't say no. You could grind them down as a powder, couldn't you? I mean, is that technically still eating the razor blades?
Why not?
It's like that guy on the TV in the 80s who just would eat all that, like, he ate like a truck and washing machine.
Yeah. Whatever happened to him, I'm guessing he's dead. Let's Google and find out later on. Elsewhere on the front page, anything of interest?
Yes, there's lots of things of interest. It's the Daily Telegraph. The baffling rise of Ana de Armas. That's at the very top. That's the very beautiful woman who was in James Bond. And I don't understand why they're saying the baffling rise of this woman who is arguably behind Cressida, not that it's about beauty, but is one of the most beautiful women in the world.
You should have mentioned your wife. That's the way I would have played it.
Oh, yes, and my wife.
But
my wife.
Your wife, as far as I know, hasn't been in a series of Hollywood flops, which apparently this lady has.
She's only been in a Howie flop. Sorry about that.
The Howie flop has been...
drinking too much last week. Anyway, and now...
We're going to find out how much that is.
I'm going to get in trouble with that one. But there's a really big story here that is sort of actually is going to affect our lives, which is the NHS are basically being told that A&E, if you are the walking wounded, i.e. you are physically able to make it into hospital, don't go into hospital.
Yeah, it's great.
Go to a centre where they can sort you out. That's the gist of it. That's a huge cultural shift for us.
Do you think people will stick to it?
Yeah.
No.
I want to go to the walk.
People already turn up when they shouldn't.
That's because I don't want to be with all the really sick people. I just want to be with someone who's got a cut on their finger.
But so the problem is, if you try and see your GP, I don't even think my GP actually exists. I don't know if I told you the full boring story, but when my cough and all that hay fever got really bad, I had to go and see a GP. They wouldn't send me to mine, and I got there and he was a paramedic. It's like, why are you sat behind a desk? Does it help if I lie down on the floor? Do you get called out to many coughs, was my first question. So clearly there's a staffing problem. People have to go to A&E because they can't see the GPs. And now I'll just have to pretend that my knee hurts as well. I'll have to hobble in there going, oh, I'm not walking. Can you sort out my throat? And, oh, my poor leg. So, no, you still have... Until you've got a system that works, of course you have to rock up to the wrong place.
Yeah, it's... I don't know. I think this could be a big cultural shift in terms of getting, you know, I don't know, just don't go to the A&E straight away. Go somewhere
Who is
else.
doing that?
What,
People who can't see anyone else, surely.
I just think siphon off the sort of semi-healthy. That's what I'm thinking. Get them to go somewhere else.
That's already the system.
Just leave A&E for the really bad people.
They already try that with, before you go and see your GP, try and see your pharmacist. Why? They're closed half day on Wednesday and Friday. There's no chance of seeing them on a Sunday. So, and you go in the shop.
These might be specialists who are like, get you in and they'll zip you up.
No, but you get your rash out in front of a pharmacist and you get banned from that particular outlet. It's not fair, is what it is. Also, can we mention this? The Portugal opens e-gates for UK holidaymakers. Come on, we're getting the e-gates, baby. So we're getting one e-gate.
I wonder if that's would increase people's likelihood to go to Portugal.
Yeah.
I think if people are like, we know we're going to get the e-gate, let's go to Portugal this summer. For people who haven't booked their holidays yet, that could be a big deal.
I think Portugal's just getting a mention, so that's good for them.
Fair enough. Well, a positive mention as opposed to the usual in the news. Teenage girl spared jail over dog walker killing. This is just an angry story. The 80-year-old dog walker who was murdered by a 15-year-old boy and a 13-year-old girl filmed it. She gets to walk away from court. So that's really great.
Yep. The Times, let's see if there's anything to get angry about on the front page of this one.
Yeah, well, this is a big deal. Migration could force reform of the Rights Treaty. So the European Convention of Human Rights, everyone's going on about it, particularly Article 8. People are very familiar with now the right to family life, which has been used repeatedly for essentially wrong-uns and rapists to stay within the UK, but also in other European countries they've been using it as well.
Right.
And it seems like finally all these other countries have come together and went, wait a minute, maybe this needs to be tweaked from when it was written 60-odd years ago.
I mean, we weren't doing it anyway, but, yeah, go on, let's change it.
Well, let's see. Maybe that would be a good thing.
So what you're saying is the way to solve this is to have some sort of union of European countries. Good luck on Twitter. Have fun if you say anything positive about that.
Well, this is it. Rather than just ditch the whole thing, if it can be saved, save it. If it can be saved.
What, the EU or the ECHR?
The ECHR.
Yeah, I didn't get as far as Article 8. I got 3 articles in.
OK,
so I left it there. The Sun. This is big news for people who don't care about much.
David finally gets knighthood. Arise, Sir Bex.
Yeah.
David Beckham's going to be a knight.
I think that's
Isn't that lovely?
That's good. He looks genuinely happy, doesn't
and
he?
of course, we're going to have Lady Beckham, which is quite right too. I mean, she's always been a lady.
Wait.
Where have you got Northern?
That was Jamaican. She gets to be lady.
Yes, she's going to be Lady Beckham.
That's not fair.
Of course no. Have you seen her trouser suits? She should have been Lady Beckham
No,
a
she
long
should get
time
it separate.
ago.
Well, why does the partner get to also take on the Lady Lord or whatever it is?
They're married. They're very
No, that's not
allied to
enough.
each other.
She should be Sir, and she should just be plain old commoner.
You want equality?
Do you think she should be Sir? You've changed.
No, I'm not saying don't. I'm not saying don't give her a lady. I just think she has earned it, as far as I'm concerned. But I don't think it should come through her marriage. I don't think that you should automatically get to lord it up, literally.
But what has
just because you're married to someone?
What has he done that deserves a knighthood?
What are you talking about? Look how handsome he is, and his cool tattoos. And he's 50-ish, and he's still in shape.
Is that what gets you a knighthood? Because I'm looking at some of the other people who get knighthoods and I'm thinking there's a loophole.
He's got all his hair, Steve! He's got all his hair!
I think
knew I wouldn't even go to CBE. Was it? Oh, I knew there was a thing. It wasn't just walking around in his pants, because I do that, and all I get asked is to leave that pharmacist. The front page of the Daily Star, what have they got?
Armageddon drunk, blast orders. Anyone fancy Nuki Brown? Basically, it's going to be nuclear war, so they're saying just let's get drunk.
Probably not the best solution, is it? That when the wind blows thing, you're meant to get under a mattress propped up against a wall, and that way they know where to find your bodies, I think.
Oh, wow, that's like kind of Pompeii, but less glamorous.
Oh, you know, if you knew in the future they would find you in whichever position you were in after the bomb goes off, come on, you'd have a bit of fun with that, wouldn't you?
What are you thinking?
I don't know, probably the Saturday Night Fever. I'd do that.
But you might have to hold it for like 2 hours or something.
It'd be worth it, just for the Tony Robinson of the future digging down in time team going, let's see what happened during the nuclear explosion. This guy was loving it.
I would be found picking my nose.
Probably. Well, that's the front pages looked at. On the way in the next section, we'll jump deeper into the newspapers to find out who might not be taught English. Bit of a shame. All of that still to come on Headliners, only on GB News.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Amy, how did you get into this beauty stuff?
It's a good story, actually. I moved here years ago. I married a lovely Scotsman, and I was acting for a while, and then I was producing. And while I was producing, I needed a part-time job, and I got a job presenting beauty products at QVC, the shopping channel. And I was given a hair removal device. And although we did millions of pounds of sellout shows, they were oftentimes returned. Not due to my bad selling, but simply because they didn't work or people didn't like the smell of burning hair. And I thought to myself, people want a dermaplaner. They don't want this 250-pound device. So at the time, I was bringing over these dermaplaners from America to the UK because I couldn't find them in store. And then I thought to myself, light bulb moment, let me start manufacturing them because I truly believe everyone needs a dermaplaner in their routine.
A dermaplaner, that's the future.
Dermaplaner.
But you're from America, the US.
Yes, I'm from New York originally.
And don't like to bring this up, Amy, but somebody tells me, I think it's James, our producer, that you were a career criminal back in the day. Is this true? Let's just put this to bed.
Okay, it's semi-true. Career criminal.
Semi-true.
Semi-true.
Okay.
I did get issued a summons.
Okay.
I was a bartender briefly. And I had to do community service for a day. I was issued a summons because there was a sting operation at a bar that I was working in as a bartender. And I served someone underage. The legal drinking age is 21.
21, yeah.
And it was super busy. I didn't look for his license. Next thing I know, I saw a cop flashing his badge. And I thought, oh my God, don't you have criminals to arrest, not me?
Proper criminals. But
Proper criminals.
We believe in second chances here on GB News, especially on this show. And this is why we've got you behind the bar, even though you've got a dodgy past. You put that to bed, haven't you?
GB News, the People's Channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Dubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to Headliners. If you want to get involved, you can go to gbnews.com/yoursay. And I've been looking there and I've caused upset. Jason says, Stephen Allen, get your facts right. The pharmacy I go to is open 10 p.m. On Mondays to Saturdays and 10 till 4 on a Sunday. This is the problem with you putting out lies.
Yeah, Jason!
Probably go to different pharmacies. But other than that, absolutely bang on. Cressida...
No, he goes to your pharmacy, he stalks you.
Does he know?
He knows that you're a liar, Steve, with your pharmacy knowledge.
He stalks me that much, he can tell me what's going on with my rash. Cressida, The Telegraph, and when I'm abroad, I tend to shout loudly in English, but now I can call that teaching English as a foreign language.
Very nice. English classes for migrants face the axe under Reform-led council. So apparently this is the largest Reform-led council in the country. This is Kent County Council. And they're having a little bit of a Doge session, looking at their own expenses. And the Reform UK councillor, who's there, Lyndon Kemkaran, is trying to cover the council's £780 million debt. I mean, that's going to be quite a few language lessons, isn't it, to get that back? Said that the classes are going if they do not provide value for the taxpayer. And they're suggesting that that migrants should be using Duolingo instead.
Right.
Which, I mean, I hope they turn the notifications off. I've always got that image of people in migration centres are quite crammed in, and imagine all that ping, ping, ping would drive you mad. So yeah, this is, I don't know, is it a good use of our money? We want people to speak English. On the other hand, why should the foreigners get the resources? There's so many English people that can't speak English.
Very good. Well, there's a contradictory messaging going out here because, of course, Reform is arguably about integration. I mean, if they get in, and then obviously this would help that lessons towards that. But this is money for adult education, which has already halved over the last decade or so anyway. So it is a valuable resource. It can make people's lives better. We've all seen Educating Rita. Have we seen Educating Rita? Was it for like, you're probably not your generation. Well, anyway, but it can make a difference to people's lives. And I think this is the Educating Rita channel. I think this is about bettering yourself and Michael Caine.
It's more about the Michael Caine from Educating Rita than it is about the Julie Walters, I imagine. Getting drunk a lot.
Getting drunk and whatever. So, but at the same time, 780 million is a big debt.
But also, right, the idea is Duolingo, not Lipa, I get confused. But I tried Duolingo for a while when we went on holiday to Italy a while ago, and I used it for months, and il sono... That's all I can remember. Brilliant. So that's how pointless it is. It's just like playing an app and it all goes straight out your head.
I'm doing a word of the day, and fluvial.
Oh,
is my word of the day about rivers. So hopefully there's a story about rivers coming up.
OK, well, let's see.
Find it out.
Josh, the Metro and rivers. Oh, wowzers! What are the odds? Sadly not. Josh, the Metro and free school meals for kids. But I thought our children were too large. Do they mean free Ozempic in blow darts?
So, yeah, sometimes, I mean, free school meals are so disgusting. I just want to throw it in the fluvial. OK. Free school meals to be extended to 500,000 children across the country. This is going to be by 2026-27. Basically, anybody who gets universal credit will automatically get free school meals. At the moment, if you get universal credit if you earn below £7,400 a year. I wasn't on universal credit, but we did have free school meals. This is about 7 years ago or something like that. It was a big help to us. I think that this is... the right thing to do. It could lift an extra 100,000 children out of poverty. When I came off universal credit, and then I started earning a bit more money, and then those school meals, I know I've got a lot of kids and everything, but I was then going into debt to pay for the school meals, and it makes a difference. And this was like they get a proper meal at school. I'm not saying my cooking's that bad, but it does cost a bit of money. It's a couple of grand. When you add a couple of kids in, it's a couple of grand and you're paying it off all the time. It's a real... So I think that this is a great thing.
Cressida?
Well, Starmer only thinks it's going to save 500 quid per family.
So for me, that's 2,500 quid.
Well, I guess, yeah, OK, fair enough. I don't know. I mean, that all sounds good, but it's not very aspirational, is it? They're talking about it in terms of saying that this is going to make a huge difference. It's going to deliver excellence everywhere. And I just think, God, you know... That's so sad that we're in the UK, and they're saying that 24.6% of British kids will need this. That's appalling. We're a developed first world country. I just don't think it should be celebrated.
No, I know what you're saying. That it is sad, this situation, but people are just being squeezed, being overtaxed, and squeezed, and it's just the government is just taking, and at least the argument goes that those people who need it most will get some help.
I know that on other shows they would have had people on talking about different stories where someone would have sat in this chair and said, if you can't afford them, you shouldn't have as many kids.
Yeah.
I just so wish they were here right now, Josh, because that's the thing, isn't it? So you got 5 kids, you couldn't afford to feed them.
Well,
maybe you should get rid of one.
Well, maybe my wife shouldn't be so attractive. No one ever
said
talks
earlier,
about
is it? Whoops. OK. Cressida, the Times and knife etiquette used to mean knowing which one goes with the fish course, but now it's about being polite when you arrest a wrong'un.
Police put a target on my back after I arrested teenager with a knife. So this is horrible. This is Lorne Castle, who was a policeman, who was dismissed after failing to treat his suspect with courtesy and respect. I mean, it's just unbelievable, isn't it? This was at the end of a long 10-hour shift, and this guy had stopped a violent, referred to here as a violent masked offender, who'd come along on a scooter. It turned out there was a knife in the pocket and
a big knife, by the way. If you've seen the picture, it was like a proper killing
knife.
Yeah,
a 3-inch blade one end and a Stanley knife on the other. A multi-tool, I think. Anyway, so when this guy finally stopped him and the teenager was on the ground, the policeman told him to stop screaming like a bee and has now lost his job over this. But plot twist, it wasn't the person arrested that complained. It was his colleagues. He got grassed up by 2 junior colleagues who hadn't been on the beat for more than 6 months. And they just thought this was unacceptable. I mean, no wonder we're in the state we're in, etc.
His colleagues who were the bees.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
We'd
I mean,
agree.
this is a story that keeps on giving because you read it and you think, oh, it's terrible. It must be because of, like, the rough nature of the arrest. None of that. None of the holding the guy to the floor or anything. Because of that phrase, stop screaming like a B word. That's not even the harshest thing.
Insane. This guy's a hero. This guy's been a copper for 10 years. He saved somebody a few weeks before diving into a river. And, like I say, dobbed in by his colleagues here. He tackled this kid. He was about to go off duty and he heard about the crime. He went and did it. Who knows how many... He could have saved someone's life that night, easily. Yep. Someone else, another teenager, got killed a year before. It's not... And it's been sort of persecuted by the police force themselves. They even, like, said, no, it's all good, like the powers that be, and then his...
Referred up higher, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But this story is the story that keeps on giving for so many reasons, because the person who made the complaint against him is now on desk duty because of a complaint against them. And then right at the end of the story, when the guy was asked, like, do you think this impacts policing, he holds up that article from the boss of his... area of police that said we want policing to be like the 90s and to try and stop knife crime. Literally what this guy did, and he's out of a job for it.
This guy, this Dorset, he should get his job back and a big apology and a bit of dosh.
Yeah, honestly, absolutely solid story. Josh, the Daily Mail, and Trump has added some countries to his travel ban list. He can't have too many, otherwise where would he get his next wife from?
The 12 countries on Trump's travel ban list. So Afghanistan, Chad, Congo, Guinea, Haiti, Iran, Libya. So he had a travel ban before from predominantly Muslim countries. This time it is expanded to countries that also will either the people who come over from those countries tend to stay illegally afterwards, basically ignoring their visa, or those countries won't take them back, which is strange for us in the UK because we don't know what it's like for a country to decide who comes in.
Yeah.
So it's
weather decides. That's what you've got to love. If you get bad weather, no one comes across.
Well, we know about it in reverse, don't we? This is very similar to the policy that Tenerife is considering today after those two women were found fighting on holiday drunk.
No more Brits.
Well, you hear that a lot, don't you? The Spanish have had enough of us. I mean, I'm just saying we understand it from the other way around.
Look, people are going to cry fascism and he's a Nazi and whatever, but the fact is every country should have the right to decide who they want to let in. Now, if it's proven that from certain countries there are people who are coming over who might be a risk to your country, and that's not to say that everybody in Afghanistan or everybody in any of these countries that I mentioned could, but the point is, if he can't rule it out, the risk is not worth it, then he has the right to make that call.
I think the other part of it might be even more persuasive, the idea that if you don't take back the people you should take back, you're not playing ball, you're not a part of an agreement, so by goes the visas.
Yeah, but the problem is that it doesn't work with the UK. Because people want to go to America. I know people want to come here, but that's because we're the best of the... We're sort of like the person in the corner who's still single at the end of the night.
That's what you think of us.
Whereas America's kind of already sauntered off with 10...
They've already pulled.
10 fitties.
Listen, as soon as those lights go up, there's that panic. You've got 3 minutes to pull and it can happen. Trust me, I remember those days. Right, that's the end of that section. Coming up, we'll plough further into the newspapers, including a story about if you want to know where to go to the toilet in the NHS. We've got the info for you. This is Headliners, only on GB News.
Hello there, good evening. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. As we head into tomorrow, quite a wet start for some, any rain clearing to leave sunshine and showers, and feeling warmer than it did today in any sunnier spells. Back to this evening though, we do have this frontal system eventually clearing its way to the southeast, allowing some drier spells before our next system moves in from the west. So some outbreaks of rain across the southeast for a time before this system clears away, and then another band of rain moving into parts of northwest England and Wales by the time we reach the morning. Some quite heavy outbreaks at times too. A few more clearer skies across Scotland, Northern Ireland, parts of the southeast, turning a little cooler here, but for many plenty of cloud, which will keep those temperatures up for the morning. Now, it's going to be a fairly similar start to what we had this morning. Some downpours at times as this system shifts its way eastwards, turning a little bit brighter across parts of the southwest, parts of Wales. A risk of showers, though, and fairly similar across Northern Ireland. A bit of a brighter start, but still plenty of outbreaks of rain across northern parts of England. And for Scotland, a mix of clouds, some showers, but also some brighter spells and still fairly breezy at times too. Now, this area of rain should clear quite quickly, moving its way into the North Sea, and behind it, once again, a day of sunshine and showers, but potentially quite a dry and bright day across some central and southern parts, mostly skipping those showers, and it should feel a little warmer than it was today in any sunnier spells, but still, once again, particularly across the north, a little fresher and still plenty of showers moving through from the west. Heading into the weekend, an unsettled start, some quite heavy and blustery outbreaks of rain at times, and this could potentially turn into some thundery downpour, so do keep an eye on our Met Office website for any potential warning updates here. But Sunday looks a lot drier than Saturday, so it's definitely the better day of the weekend, and heading into next week, temperatures are on the up. That's it from me. Bye-bye.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more. Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date, or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently. It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it? It's explosive. I mean, this is very good. It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial. And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born. It's everything you need to kickstart your evening. Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it. That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to Headliners. If you want to get involved, gbnews.com/your say. PW tries to correct me, as earlier I was saying it's difficult to learn languages on Duolingo. Try learning Klingon. That is challenging. Well, maybe to a patak like you. Cressida, the Daily Mail, and a straight woman has complained that she keeps losing jobs to gay people, and she doesn't even work in the media. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Landmark Supreme Court ruling sides with Marlene Amos, a straight woman who was passed over for jobs that went to gay colleagues. So this is unusual, isn't it? The Supreme Court has sided with her, a straight woman who... this has happened previously. This isn't her first rodeo. She's been trying to... not trying to get the gays. She's been in combat with colleagues over this before.
Still sounds wrong.
Yeah. But the judge has said, look, this is not constitutional. We can't have people being held to different standards. And so she's won. And this is probably going to trigger a wave of similar cases of workplace discrimination brought by people who are not members of minority groups.
So before it was the case that if you're a member of those groups, it was easier to prove discrimination, but if you're a member of other groups, you had to...
So the standards were different.
The standards were discriminatory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The standards themselves. So it's a big story for two reasons. One is because this now changed the law for everybody so that they can prove discrimination if you are white. And it's also a big deal for her particular situation in that she lost out a job to a young gay guy, and then she lost out a next time to a lesbian who didn't even want to get the job. And so she felt like, wait a minute, this is discriminatory, which it seems as though it was.
Yeah, but again, over in America, they've got this precedent system of their legal thing. Won't make a difference over here. But it's a fun little news story to look at.
Yeah, so I guess I don't need to be gay anymore.
We don't need to be, but if I were you, I'd cling to it.
Cling to it, OK.
Yeah. When you've got something you're good at,
I'll keep it going.
Josh, the Telegraph and an energy company is getting into the business of writing wills. But thanks to energy companies, we won't have anything to pass on.
Yeah, Octopus, which is an energy company, targets baby boomer inheritances with low-cost will writing. So normally it costs about 500 quid or so. They are offering them for 100 quid. There's going to be the largest ever transfer of wealth. Because basically older people, even though they're all saying, oh, give us money because we're all freezing, they're all trillionaires.
Core demographic.
Yeah, but over the next 30 years, trillions of pounds are expected to be transferred from millennials and Gen Zers from baby boomers, who are the richest generation in history. They are basically, people between 65 and 74 are 33 times wealthier than Gen Z people.
For now, but pretty soon...
Yeah, I mean, when was that not the case? When was it not the case that the slightly older people, the mature people, held
in the
all
1920s,
the money?
like the younger people who were Gen whatever they were back then, all they got was like some coal or something from their Victorian parents.
Yeah, but their Victorian parents would have been richer than them until they weren't.
Well, this is the first generation where basically the youth are poorer, and so that wealth is going to be handed back. It's very upsetting for me because I don't think I'm going to get anything.
Well, this is the thing. It separates the smug from the damned, doesn't it? Because it's not everyone.
Yeah.
But some people are going to have
some people.
Sweet
Okay,
houses.
but say people bought their council homes very cheaply. Now they're, if you bought one in London, it could be worth more than $500,000 or so.
Yeah.
And that money is going to go then to their kids and grandkids. My parents, they vowed they would spend. All they're doing is spending it, Steve. They need to stop spending it. Just because they earned it, they feel like they should spend it.
You should get a dad from Yorkshire like mine. They're incapable of spending anything.
Oh, so you're doing all right. You're just watching down the clock. I see. Fair enough. Do you have to eat those 5 a day, Dad? I see how it works. Right. Cressida at the Daily Mail, and more on the Amana Khalif boxing story, and it looks like someone really dropped a ball. Maybe two.
Algerian boxing bosses issue furious response for violating Amani Khalif's rights amid leaked medical report. So we now know that we know a lot more about Amani Khalif. Well, we suspected it all along, but she's failed this test, and so can't be in women's boxing. Previously, the sport was run by International Boxing Association, the IBA. We had loads of this last year. We covered it a lot. And now World Boxing, who are the new governing body, have announced that they're going to introduce mandatory sex testing for male and female boxers who want to take part. Great. But they specifically mentioned Khalif in covering this. And they shouldn't have done that. However, this letter that was written by the Algerian Federation president added that the consequences are immeasurable for Khalif.
Yeah.
Immeasurable. You know what you can measure is newtons when somebody punches you.
I wonder where you were going with that. Well, that's where I thought you were going to go. OK.
Well, this is it. The consequences were immeasurable for the women that this biological male beat up and stole their gold medals and other medals from last summer, and were cheered on by people across the country, including sports writers for the BBC and everyone else, say, this is a woman and you're being a bigot. Well, it turns out this is a biological male who was cheating. And what about, they're talking about the violating of rights. Well, what about violating of a woman's right to compete in sport without getting battered by a bloke?
Yeah. The cheating accusation, though, is the flaw is the stupid rule that the organisation had. They put in place the rule, whatever's on your birth certificate.
Yeah.
Or your
passport.
Passport, that was it. Well, that's your stupid rule, so actually really technically not cheating.
Yeah, but you don't need to exploit the rule.
Yeah.
That person knows whether they're a male or not.
Yeah. And the fact that I think one of the rules should be, if they've asked to wear a cup, then they probably shouldn't be.
But Algeria, these third world countries, I don't know if Algeria is third world technically, I'm not sure. It's a wonderful country. But the point is that some of these countries deliberately seek out people with developmental sex disorders, specifically to then train them up and get them into the Olympics for exactly this reason. And that's partly also who needs to be blamed.
Yeah. But now the rules are changing. There'll be tests.
Yeah, there'll be tests, which
Sex
is
tests.
a cheek swab, which was always there. The science is totally solid. But this person should lose their medal. His medal. J.K. Rowling said. And I'm saying it as well.
Let's just pass the blame back into J.K. Josh, The Telegraph, the NHS, they're changing where they say you should go to the toilet. It's a bit confusing, but we know that if you're a bear, it's still the woods.
Yeah, NHS chiefs forced to rip out the trans guidance. So even though Supreme Court found that a woman is surprisingly a woman from, a few months ago now finally, NHS Confederation have deleted their webpage that essentially said that if you're non-binary or whatever it is that you identify, you can just go wherever you want. Just go.
Well, go wherever you want is a bit like a cat scenting the area. It's not go into whichever toilet you want.
I think that
Yes,
they
the
would.
word facilities
I think
is
if trans people, I think the NHS would let them just do it in the corridors if that was part of someone's identity.
If it's a corridor,
I'm not saying that was, but I'm saying that to not appear like they were bigoted in any way, they would go. If someone came along and said, I identify as someone who's afraid of toilets.
I have to push back because if this is the NHS we're talking about, that corridor is being used as an operating theatre. So there is no way they'd let you do a wee-wee there.
Fine. Well, the point humorously stands.
Yes, you can use accessible facilities or a combination of different facilities. It doesn't say corridor, you're exactly right. I don't know. Yeah, there's lots of talk...
You don't determine what facilities means, Cressida. What a man is or a woman is or a facility is.
You woman-splaining.
Yeah.
Which I think you're allowed to do.
I wouldn't dare,
Not woman-spraying.
I wouldn't dare. And, of course, Maya Forstater has come out and said that the guidance encouraged a hostile, humiliating and unsafe environment for NHS workers and patients. And it did, didn't it? There were women who were threatened with losing their jobs. They were called bigots.
Did lose their jobs.
It was awful. Yeah.
Do you remember we had on Free Speech Nation, and you can come and join us live in the audience, 7 till 9 o'clock on Sundays. There was a black nurse who was repeatedly called the N-word.
Trans person used the N-word.
And they didn't back her at all, didn't offer her any psychological help for trauma, and sort of basically backed this trans prisoner.
She ended up having to be on a show with you. This woman has not suffered enough. Cressida, the Express, and someone was seen as a bit right-wing, and they got uninvited from a child's birthday party, which is the best thing about being on this TV station. I haven't had to go to any. It's been great.
Brilliant. My children were uninvited from their friend's birthday party because I vote Reform. So this is a councillor who is a Reform councillor.
And she votes Reform as well.
Well,
shocking.
That's what she says here.
Well, she makes it up.
So she, exactly as it says, this person was her friend for 30 years, apparently, but then wouldn't let the kids go to the birthday party because she was defending her future trans son. And at the time, this child was 2. I don't think she meant...
No, she's just in case.
She meant in case.
Yeah.
As an insurance policy, I'm not going to be friends with the wrong people because it won't look good in the future. So, yeah, I find this entirely believable.
That's exactly the argument that would have saved Trump, though. I don't want to be friends with the wrong people because it looks bad in the future.
Well, it is entirely believable. My daughter's one of her best friends. Her mother won't let my daughter hang out with her for being on this, because I'm on this channel. And it's disgusting, frankly. I think it's to use your children like that. And there's something this Reform councillor says, and I'm not a Reform voter, but the point of what she says is 100% right. She says, this is what extreme left ideology does. It encourages a view that political beliefs are a way to separate the good from the bad, and anyone who disagrees with them is evil, dangerous and unworthy of basic decency. It fractures friendship, destroys families, and it isolates people. And this is all because of the left's unwillingness to admit that they might be wrong. And that is what it comes down to. And it's shameful. And the left will very unlikely come back into power in terms of well...
They're in power, right?
After they get out of power this time. But in America,
one time, yeah.
Until, let's say the far left or people with... Well, could you argue the left are in power at the moment? I know technically they are.
Yes.
But the point is... Yeah, OK, but really, are they?
The
point is that
the problem with this is, though, how many times have we sat here and said that people should be allowed to decide what their kids do and it shouldn't be up to anybody else and the parents know best? And if this woman genuinely feels that way, we can't...
But a 2-year-old?
Look, I don't agree with her. I'm just saying we can't force the parent to expose her children to things she doesn't like.
Yeah, but it's not like this Reform councillor is going to come in and stick a blue rosette on this 2-year-old and give a sort of sign.
I tend to agree.
Maybe, I don't know if Nigel Farage has got a children's book out.
What about this, then? What if it's just bigoted to dislike somebody's politics? Because your politics are kind of like an immutable characteristic, aren't they?
You're right. You're right.
I know.
It should be a non-hate. This Reform councillor should submit a non-hate crime incident and turn her back to her there.
That's how to get in again.
That's how,
You'd be invited to so many parties after that, wouldn't you? Excellent plan. That's it for this section. Coming up in the next one, we'll actually tell you how much wine you should drink if you're a woman. It'll shock you. You'll spit out whatever you're drinking, and that might save your life. All of that still to come on Headliners, only on GB News.
You're looking happy.
Well, the forecast looks good.
So you've sorted the travel insurance then?
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello. It's looking largely dry for many places around the Mediterranean through the next few days, but not totally dry. A few showers continuing to affect, well, Madeira and the Canary Islands, but across the bulk of Spain and Portugal, a fine picture here. A little bit further north, though, some heavy thundery rain continuing to affect areas of France and into Germany and the north of Italy as well. Elsewhere across Italy, largely fine, and some parts of Greece will have some decent weather too. More fine sunny weather to come in the outlook.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. That's State of the Nation every Monday and Tuesday at 8 o'clock, only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it? Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more. Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date, or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently. It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it? It's explosive. I mean, this is very good. It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial. And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born. It's everything you need to kickstart your evening. Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it. That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to Headliners. You can get involved. Go to gbnews.com/your say. We were talking about which is the richest generation, and Cassandra Stewart said, I feel sorry for babies. They haven't got a penny to their name. Very true, very true. And very few of them own property, so you're making solid points in that section. Next, we go to the Telegraph, Cressida, or Josh, it's Josh with this one, and advice on how much alcohol women should drink. Good luck telling them that.
Well, that's why it's come to me. Cressida.
Oh, as if I drink.
Women
I work here.
should drink no more than 6 glasses of wine a year, OK? A year, Cressida.
A year?
Get on with it.
I mean, we could barely fit in the office now. Those bottles piling up every time. We're trying to produce the show with her is just like...
It's wine o'clock somewhere.
Yeah.
Lol. I did all my drinking when I was a girl, not a woman, so I got it out of the way.
Not yet a woman.
Yeah, I did my drinking when I was a girl. We're not talking about that story. I thought it wouldn't be popular here.
So, yeah, this is actually quite... It's scary, these statistics, where even the 6 glasses of wine a year is enough to make a difference in terms of getting breast cancer. But certainly having really any alcohol during the week, like 2 bottles of wine a week, will basically increase the chance of getting breast cancer 27%, which is insane.
Yeah.
And made it even worse is the double whammy is if you have the menopause, that can even make it worse because you've got more hormones in the system, which converts the alcohol into another type of drug, which is carcinogenic. So if you're trying to take away wine from menopausal women, it's like, that ain't going to happen.
Someone's going to get injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know that.
So this is sad.
I don't know. It's all a bit Brian Johnson, isn't it? That squillion billionaire that keeps putting his son's blood in himself to live forever.
But he's not going to live forever, because at some point his son's going to die. This doesn't even make a good sense. It's one source of the good plasma.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, on that end, people want to let their hair down, don't they? But it's important that we know.
We know
agree.
people make an informed decision, but this is terrible news. This could cut to... We need people having more babies.
Yeah.
And how are people going to have sex if women aren't drunk?
I don't think wine helps you...
In consensual relationships.
Cressida, the Daily Mail, and I thought it was bad that my car knew what I got up to on the back seat.
Nice. The system... no, that's not it. Now your car knows if you've put on weight. Major manufacturer adds body-measuring sensors to safety feature. That's awful. Isn't this scary? So now Volvo have come up with this new super-duper seatbelt that's going to measure you. I mean, it's just horrific. I wonder if they could link it to your dating app, you know, so because it measures height and weight, and those are the two things that the two sexes are very interested in. Anyway, it's going to measure you so it knows how tight to make the seatbelt if you have a crash.
But isn't it interesting that I didn't understand this, Steve? You're cleverer than myself, obviously. Is it going to loosen it if you're fat or tighten it if you're... I couldn't really work out how it was going to impact the crash.
It's probably... It knows how much it has to pull you in when what speed you're going, what force you are going to plough forward at.
Oh, OK.
Force equals mass times acceleration.
So, because some people... But if you've got a normal seatbelt at the moment, the implication was that if you were thinner, it would hurt you more.
Right, that's the
So it was going to soften
Well, you
it?
can afford a flesh wound if you're fat, can't you? The gladiators used to have lots of fat so that they could bleed for the crowd and still survive.
I didn't know this. This is...
Do you know what, that's why I do it. Let's try and fit this in like 30 seconds.
Someone's got a boyfriend.
Josh, the Daily Mail, and the only time you see a big hand pointing to a little hand in your classroom will be if you've got Michelangelo's The Creation of Adam. That is a Simon Evans link.
OK, yes, now you got there at the end. The worrying reason schools are removing analogue clocks as teachers issue warnings. So this is exam time. My eldest is doing his GCSEs at the moment. And essentially they're taking down clocks and making them digital clocks because kids don't know how to read the time from an analogue clock. Also, that's the same reason they're taking down written signs, because children can't read.
The writing's on the wall.
They haven't taught read.
Well, we're out of time, sadly. That's it. We've got all we've got time for, thanks to Cressida and Josh. Cressida will be here tomorrow night at 11 p.m. with Leo Kirsten, Nick Dixon. If you're watching at 5, stay tuned and enjoy breakfast on the way next.
Expect a warm front, moving from the kitchen right through to the rest of the house. Boxed Boilers, sponsors of weather on GB News.
Hello there, good evening. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. As we head into tomorrow, quite a wet start for some, any rain clearing to leave sunshine and showers, and feeling warmer than it did today in any sunnier spells. Back to this evening though, we do have this frontal system eventually clearing its way to the southeast, allowing some drier spells before our next system moves in from the west. So some outbreaks of rain across the southeast for a time before this system clears away, and then another band of rain moving into parts of northwest England and Wales by the time we reach the morning. Some quite heavy outbreaks at times too. A few more clearer skies across Scotland, Northern Ireland, parts of the southeast, turning a little cooler here, but for many plenty of cloud, which will keep those temperatures up for the morning. Now, it's going to be a fairly similar start to what we had this morning. Some downpours at times as this system shifts its way eastwards, turning a little bit brighter across parts of the southwest, parts of Wales. A risk of showers, though, and fairly similar across Northern Ireland. A bit of a brighter start, but still plenty of outbreaks of rain across northern parts of England. And for Scotland, a mix of clouds, some showers, but also some brighter spells and still fairly breezy at times too. Now, this area of rain should clear quite quickly, moving its way into the North Sea, and behind it, once again, a day of sunshine and showers, but potentially quite a dry and bright day across some central and southern parts, mostly skipping those showers, and it should feel a little warmer than it was today in any sunnier spells, but still, once again, particularly across the north, a little fresher and still plenty of showers moving through from the west. Heading into the weekend, an unsettled